I was brought up to believe in Nigeria, and I continue to believe in this country. And I also think that there are a number of weaknesses in the kind of arguments that have been put forward. First of all, you'll hardly find a country in the world that is homogeneous. The United States is a country of immigrants. You've got blacks, you've got white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, you've got Irish Catholics, you've got American Indians, you've got Hispanics, and you've got immigrants from all over. The United Kingdom is, England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland are not one people. Switzerland, you've got different groups. The French have their Basques, the Spanish have their Corsicans. Russia is a country made up of many ethnic groups, so is China. And, you know, if you think of Nigeria, what part of Nigeria is homogeneous? And what part of Nigeria has been homogeneous over its entire history? Take Hausa land. People talk about Hausa Fulani. Before the Sokoto Jihad, Hausa land was divided into a number of kingdoms. They spoke the same language, they had the same religion, but they were at war with each other. Kano was at war with Katsina. Katsina was at war with Zaria. Zaria was at war with Gobir, and so on. People thought of this as Kanawa, Katsinawa, Zazagawa. The idea of there being Hausawa, one group, came later. That entire group was put together, really, by the Sokoto Jihad, which put them under one flag. If you come to Yoruba land, I mean, you've got the Ijebu, the Ekiti, the Akoko, the Owo, and until recently, Ife and Modakeke were at war with each other. If you go to the Niger Delta, the Ijo, the Ishekiri, the Edo, the Asaba, and Middle Belt, Tiv, Idoma, Yoruba, Ibira. There is no part of this country that is homogeneous. Into how many parts are you going to slice this country in order to have a homogeneous nation? So let us first of all understand what we're talking about. The challenge is not in our diversity. The challenge is not in our complexity. The challenge has been in the inability of the leadership to forge a nation. And we've made a lot of progress. If you go back, when I was growing up, when I was in King's College, under Yakubu Gowon after the Civil War, we had gotten to a point where we were one nation, where we were thinking of ourselves as one country, where people believed in Nigeria as one Nigeria. And now what happens is that you tend to have, from time to time, certain people in elite circles, because Nigeria, the state is a rentier state, the state is a site for the extraction of rent and for corruption. You have different class fractions of the elite who profit from creating a base for themselves. Look, if you have a northern president, how does that affect the poor northerner on the street who is a farmer, who is unemployed, or who is begging, or who is out of school? And if you have a southern president, how does that benefit the poor southerner? Just think about it. How many times have you had presidents from the north and from the south, or from one ethnic group and the other? And how has that affected the vast majority? Now, there might be a small group from their ethnic group who are from their circle who profit financially from their being in power. But outside of that group, in what way has the life of the man on the street changed because somebody from his ethnic group is in office? Now, these guys just use the ethnicity as the platform for their negotiation for political space. If I want to be the president of Nigeria and I say she comes from the north, I eliminate southern competition. Then I want it to be a Muslim northerner. I eliminate Christian competition. Then I start thinking about the core north or Hausa Fulani. And what happens is you eliminate all the competition, you get in there. Now, when I get in there, how does that affect everyone from my ethnic group? So this is identity politics. And the sad thing is that the rest of the world recognizes the dangers of identity politics. The rest of the world recognizes that individuals appropriate these identities, whether they're religious or ethnic, for the purpose of their own selfish personal interests. But Nigerians follow. Nigerians emotionally believe in it. I see every day, oh, presidency must come from the south. Presidency must come from the north. And I ask, we've had presidency from the north and from the south. Which part of the country has been better off because of the provenance of the president? Now, are we not rather missing the point? We have a constitution. The constitution talks about a federal character, we need to deepen the definitions of diversity in that constitution. And why is it only about where they come from? Why is it about ethnicity? Why aren't we talking about the women? Why aren't we talking about the youth? What kind of diversity do we want in our system? Why is diversity only about states of origin? And why is it the presidency that we're concerned about? We have ministers from every state in the federation. What are they doing? If the president is from the north, the vice president is from the south. If the president of the south, the vice president is from the north. That is the presidency. It's north and south. What has it done? I think we need to start asking more serious questions. Who is the person that can deliver the right economic policies? Who is the person that actually believes in Nigeria? How do we make sure that the institutions work? How do the institutions fail? How do we, if anyone is able to use the office to favor a particular group that is close to him, what are the institutions doing that are supposed to check that? Is the failure of institutions the fact that we don't recognize that democracy is not just about elections, it's about the rule of law, it's about human rights, it's about institutions that must be deepened and that must do their work. If we don't have that, we're going to continue having these problems. Okay. So I'm not at all a believer in the fact. I'm a strong believer in Nigeria, and I feel that we're better off as one country. All of us are better off as one country than as divided countries. And just one last point. Look at Ethiopia. Ethiopia broke up. Since the breakup of Ethiopia, what have you had? You've had Eritrea, you've had Somalia, you've got Greater Somalia, you've had issues in the Horn of Africa for decades. Look at Sudan. Southern Sudan broke up. Southern Sudan is still at war with at war with itself. I do not know any country. Look at what happened in Yugoslavia. You break up and then you start fighting among yourselves. You have decades of war. It's always better to try to make peace and to try to reach compromises and live together than to break up.